Hey everyone, I am Gurudat. This is the fourth video of law of property. In the last three videos, we have seen general principles of law of property along with defining what is movable property and what is immovable property. In this video, we will be discussing sale of immovable property, which is given and provided in section 54. So, sale of immovable property has been dealt in chapter 3 of the Transfer of Property Act 1882. In this chapter, there are a total of 4 sections, section 54, 55, 56 and 57. While 3 can be grouped in A and last one can be grouped in B. So, first 3 sections, that is section 54, 55 and 56 deal with sale of property, while the last section deals with discharge on encumbrances on sale. So, in our syllabus, we have to focus especially on section 54 as it is given clearly in our syllabus. And rest other sections you can read by yourself. So in this video I will be studying section 54. Now sale has been defined under section 54 as sale is a transfer of ownership in exchange of a price paid or promised or part paid and part promised. So as per the definition, there has to be 3 things in it. First, transfer of ownership. In sale, you have to transfer the ownership. Secondly, at a price which is either paid or which is promised, or which is part paid and part promised. So both things can be there. It can be complete payment of price or part payment, either complete payment and either half payment, part payment or part promised. Now sale how made. Such transfer in case of tangible immovable property of a value of more than 100 rupees and upwards, or in case of a reversion or other intangible thing, can be made only by registered instrument. So how to transfer property? If the value of property is more than 100 rupees and upward, then it has to be by a registered instrument. Now I practically don't know anything which can be below 100 rupees and a immovable property. So nearly everything I know, I can think of any immovable property is more than 100 rupees. So basically every immovable property has to be transferred to a registered instrument. Now the last point is contract for sale. A contract for sale of immovable property is a contract that a sale of such property shall take place on terms settled between the parties. So one thing is transfer of property, but before transferring property there has to be contract for sale. For example, A and B meet. They first do a contract that A will be purchasing a property from B. So this agreement is the contract, and while contracting, the terms of settlement has to be settled by the parties. Now in transfer of property, there are basically 4 things involved. First is seller, second is buyer. The seller will sell the property and the buyer will purchase it. Now, one thing is subject matter. There has to be a subject matter which should be of seller. Then only the seller can sell the subject matter to the buyer. And consideration is also must. What is consideration? Consideration is the amount, the price paid for that subject matter by the buyer to the seller. So these 4 things are important in any transfer of property, any sale of immovable property. Now essential is parties, that is buyer and seller. Subject matter, that is the house or anything which is immovable property and being sold to from buyer to seller. Then there is money consideration. And the last thing is conveyance. Conveyance means transfer of property from one person to another, from buyer to seller. From seller to buyer. Conveyance is transfer of property from seller to buyer. So 4 things we have to see in this particular chapter. Now parties. There must be 2 parties, at least 2 parties. There can be more than 2 parties, but for any sale of immovable property, there must at least be 2 parties. The person who transfers the property is known as transferor or seller or vendor. He can be called as either transferor or seller or vendor. The person who purchases the property is known as transferee, purchaser or vendee. For constituting a valid sale, both the seller and the purchaser must be competent on the date of sale. And what should I mean by competency? You have to see the general principles as we have discussed in the previous videos. For competency, they should be competent to contract. For this matter, we have to see the Indian Contract Act. That who is a person competent to contract. He must be legally sound. He must be for being seller. He must be above 18 years. All these things define the competency on the date of sale. The seller must be owner of the property which he is going to sell. See, this is very important. Whenever you are selling a property, it must belong to you. You must have the title of the property. You cannot sell somebody else's property. Therefore, he must have the title of the property. He must be the owner of the property, whoever is selling the property. Then the seller must have the legal title. Only then he can sell the property. There's some spelling mistake. So the seller must have the legal title. That basically means that at times you may have some property may be your property in future, so you can't sell it. For selling a property, at the moment of selling the property, you must have the legal title of the property. For example, a son may inherit a large property from his father after his father's death, but he can sell that property only when he actually acquires the property. Only because he will get a property in future, he cannot sell that property. So legal title at the time of selling is must. Example, a tenant does not have the power to sell tenanted property. A kiradar can't sell his property. He has to be the legal owner to sell the property. The purchaser must not be disqualified by any law for time being in force from purchasing a property. There are many sections. Under section 136 of the Act, a judge, a legal practitioner or an official of the court is inconsistent to purchase actionable claims. So there are certain legal conditions which disqualifies a purchaser from purchasing a property. So these things have to be kept in mind. The seller and buyer may be natural persons or juristic person. So by juristic person we mean that a corporation can also, corporation is a juristic person. A corporation can also purchase a property from another corporation or from another natural person. So this transfer of property, this sale of immovable property can be done by natural persons also, as well as legal or juristic persons also. It can be done by both. Now let's talk about the subject matter. The Transfer of Property Act deals with the transfer of immovable property only. We have discussed it several times. It should be absolutely clear by now that only and only immovable property can be transferred under Transfer of Property Act. Therefore, the transfer or ownership must be in some immovable property only. The Sale of Goods Act deals with sale of movable property. So, for example, there's some car. For selling a car, you have to apply the Sale of Goods Act. While for selling a home, which is movable property, you have to apply Transfer of Property. This should be absolutely clear by now. Immovable property includes land, the benefits arising out of land, and the things attached to the earth except standing timber, growing crops and grass. Just a repetition of what we have studied previously. Now consideration. See, for any contract, there must be something called as consideration, which should be paid from buyer to seller. So consideration is the price, the essential element of sale. The price is essential element of sale. It is very essential for the sale. At the time of the contract of sale, the price must be ascertained, and which the property is going to be transferred. The price may be paid at time of execution of sale, before it, in advance or after the sale. So basically, consideration can be a price of something which you are trying to purchase. You can either pay the price before the sale, during the sale or after the sale. It can be decided depending upon the terms and conditions between buyer and seller. But consideration, that price is must. There must be some price involved in sale of property. So there's one definition by Fry, you can read it if you want. Money consideration. Transfer without consideration is gift. If you are not taking any money for transferring a immovable property from seller to buyer, then that will be a gift, not a sale. For being something to be called sale, there must be some consideration in form of money. That's again a case example. If you want to study, you can study it, but just remember the basic concept that transfer without consideration is gift. Now the last thing, first we studied parties, then subject matter, then consideration, and last thing is conveyance. Conveyance, parties were buyer and seller, subject matter was the immovable property which has to be sold under section 54. So third it came consideration, that is consideration is the amount which you pay for that property, and the last is conveyance. Conveyance is transfer of that property from buyer to seller. It can be done in two ways, and under section 54. Delivery of possession, you can directly transfer that property from one person to another, from seller to buyer, or by registration of sale deed. Delivery of possession can be done directly for anything below 100 rupees. And registration of sale deed is must for anything above 100 rupees. So basically for everything you have to do a registration. Now by delivery of possession we mean that the property is tangible, immovable property of the value of 100 rupees or upwards in the case of reversion, or it should be 100 rupees or below for any other thing, but in case of reversion or other intangible thing it can be more than 100 rupees. The transfer can be made only by registered instrument. So if it is more than 100 rupees, it has to be by registered instrument. Where the property is tangible, immovable of a value less than 100 rupees, its transfer may be made either by a registered instrument or by delivery of property. If the value of property is less than 100, so make it very clear how conveyance is being done. For anything below 100 rupees, delivery of possession will be enough for considering conveyance. But if the value is more than 100 rupees, then registered sale deed is must. So registration of sale deed, it is must for anything which is more than 100 rupees. So if the cost of immovable property, tangible immovable property is more than 100 rupees, then registration is must. You can study this case also. Where the value of intangible movable property is 100 rupees or more, the sale of such property requires registration of the sale deed. Where the property is tangible, immovable of any valuation, it will require registration of completion of sale. Minded. Transfer of immovable property can only be effected by executing a registered document. Mere making an agreement of sale or executing of power of attorney would not consider transfer of property, title or interest in any immovable property. So mere transfer, in some cases we just transfer the power of attorney, that is not sale. For sale there has to be execution of registered document, and merely transferring power of attorney would not consider transfer under Transfer of Property Act. This was held in G. Ram versus Delhi Development Authority. Registration of sale deed cannot be done just only by sale agreement, general power of attorney or will. See, again the same thing has been seen in the last line also. So basically anything above 100 rupees, you have to, if you want to sell anything above 100 rupees and it is a immovable property, then you have to do a registered sale deal. Otherwise it will not be transferred from one person to another. Alright, so we have covered section 54 in this. So basically just remember the four things in 54. Parties, that is buyer and seller. Second is subject matter. Third is consideration for that property, for that immovable property. And the last is conveyance. Conveyance can be by two ways. First is by delivery of possession in case of anything which is less than 100 rupees. And second thing is by registered deed for anything which is more than 100 rupees. That's all. In the next video, we will study exchange, which is given in section 118. In exchange, we will see how things, what are the essential elements of exchange. Along with it, in the next video, we will also see the difference between gift, exchange, sale. Thank you.